Welcome back to the Long Play Listening Party, the show where we go deep on local music, writing, recording, inspiration, gear, and whatever else sounds good to us. I'm Howie Howard from Mr. Furious Records. We've got Royce Diamond on the line. Royce, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Nate Holt, Astrali's Music. What's good in your world?
Everything's good. Everything's good. It's good to be here.
Excellent. And we have got Andrew and Kristen Camp on the show tonight. Together, they are the January Lanterns out of Columbia, Missouri. Welcome, Andrew and Kristen.
Yes. Yay.
Yes. What an entrance. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We're happy to be here.
Absolutely. So we're going to listen to kind of some selections, a couple older songs, one of your new singles from the album that comes out in January.
Yep.
There's probably a whole story there. We'll have to ask about that. And also a premiere of a song from the album that you haven't played publicly yet. So we will flag that once we get there. Do you... sometimes we start at the beginning, but maybe, with the album coming out soon, do you want to maybe start with the story of this album that's going to be coming out in January?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We actually recorded this album in early 2020. So January 2020, we brought in a producer from Austin. This is our home studio that we're in. So we spent a week down here. We got childcare, spent a week down here and just recorded a whole bunch of songs that we had written all the way back to 2015, I think was our earliest song. And then, of course, a couple months later, the whole world shut down. So that totally changed our plans. So we just kind of sat on it for a while because we just didn't know what the right move would be when life would go back to normal, which will it ever? I don't know. But so we just decided, we had a lot of big talks about, maybe we shouldn't keep going. This is, maybe the music world is never going to go back to normal. But we just decided we're going to keep doing this and we're going to keep moving forward. And so we kind of decided that no matter what happens, we're going to release this album because it has songs that just kind of capture an entire decade of our life. And what a sad thing it would be to not release it. So we're going to do it. Right. We're going to do this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're releasing it in January because when your band name's January Lanterns, you can only release music in that month.
You kind of have to, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's the rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I think, like Kristen said, we were pretty, shocked. We finished, we were still mixing, the guy that helped us produce, he was also mixing the album, and I want to say we finished mixing maybe in April, because I was still sending him tracks for a couple months and stuff from here, and we had somebody come do some upright bass and some keys and just some miscellaneous stuff and strings, and then we were sending stuff, and then mid-March was like, oh my gosh, what is this gonna mean? So we finished it, we were like, well, we're gonna do the thing, but we had plans. I think we were planning on releasing it September, October of 2020. That was our original goal, and so I think sometime in February, maybe this year, we were like, let's do it this year. Maybe March, something like that. I don't know.
Did you listen to it over the winter?
No. Actually, we didn't listen to it probably for, 6 months. It was really strange to re-listen to it.
We were in a low place. I mean, I'm sure everybody was with COVID. We were just kind of like, what's the meaning of all this? We just...
Yeah.
And we were hunkered down. All four of our kids were doing virtual learning. It was a low point where we were just trying to make it through each day, kind of, and keep our kids healthy and generally happy and safe. And so that was kind of our main focus. So we just kind of put everything on the back burner and didn't know if we'd ever come back to it.
I remember fiddling with my pedal board for 4 months, thinking oh, this is gonna be great. Once we start playing out again, it's gonna be, this is gonna sound so good. It's just time just kept going. It's we're not playing anything, but my pedal board is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
But
It's a
then
weird
we did have one of those moments where we're like, let's just listen to these songs again. And of course, I started weeping. And they were just so impactful to us because they tell the story of our 20s kind of. And so, I mean, in that moment, that first time listening back, it was kind of okay, we're doing this. Like, we have to. It's
Nice.
too impactful for our story. And so, yeah, we kind of thought about our kids and, how we want them to be able to hear these songs someday. So,
yeah, that's the big thing. The album will be called For the Kids When They're Older. And so it's kind of like a message in a bottle, if you will, to them down the road.
And you climbed down, which was out today, right?
Friday.
yes, it was
Which
out Friday.
It was
Out
out
last
Friday, and that's on the new record.
Yep, that'll
Yep.
be out on
Okay.
the new one. And Faint
Yeah.
Line is too, and we'll hear that tonight
Okay.
too. But
No,
yeah.
and we can talk about it, further on in the show. But yeah, I read the story about that song, and it was pretty incredible. So,
Yeah, so I think I think I put these in chronological order. So I think this is from like 2019 maybe, and I didn't get the song title. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
This one's called All I Think About.
All I think about.
Yeah.
Let's let it play a little bit and listen to it.
Yeah, sure.
All I think about is you. Driving up to South Dakota, the only one at the devil's shoulder. Had Mount Rushmore to ourselves when it was 2 degrees. Next trip to the sea and back is just a way to Africa. All I think about, all I think about, all I think about is you.
Do you remember writing this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
this-
Good answer.
This one would have been. I think we released it in.
2019.
Well, we released it in like August 2019. We probably wrote it in like March of 2019. There wasn't a huge shelf life or anything on it before we released it. There's a really cool, well, not a cool part in the song, but a lyric from the song from a cool moment in life when we went to Mount Rushmore in 2019, right?
Yeah, I caught that. Was that earlier in the song?
Yeah, and we went to Mount Rushmore and there was no one there. We were the only people there, and it was like 0 degrees. And it was like the coolest moment. It's like we have to throw that in a song. It doesn't even really go like, I don't know. That wasn't like the pinpoint of this song. It was like it just needs to be something. So
No, I like that lyric. I mean, it stuck out to me like when because I kind of listened through some stuff before, and that line stuck out to me.
Even when I die someday, I'll come to you as a songbird and sing. When you
Is music what brought you two together, or did you discover that afterward, or how
yeah.
how did that happen?
We're high school sweethearts. Hilarious. We met in high school
Awesome.
choir class. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Our
kind of
teachers are going to be so happy in January.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of been the invisible string that kind of ties us together when things got really hard in our marriage. It's kind of like music is something that we can always go back to and that we have together.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So what was recording that song like this? Those strings are beautiful, and I like the piano and the instrumentation on it. Was that could you briefly like you brought in string players, or did you play piano, or?
So, yeah, I'm trying to think about that.
We hired strings.
Yeah, actually, we did Sound Better. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of Sound Better. But yeah, we used Sound
I've
Better.
heard Sound Better.
Yeah, we actually used it, and it was great. It was a woman in, I can't remember where she was from, but she's a cello player, and she played a lot of high cello parts too. It was really cool. And so it was a quick turn. I was like the next day, I think she had everything, or maybe 2 days. It was really quick, and yeah, it was my first time doing Sound Better.
I still follow her on all
So
social media.
you send her the song and she just records parts and sends them back.
She made it up all on her own, really.
Yeah.
We gave her a little bit
incredible.
of direction, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've done some strings before, and it's really cool because what I've noticed is like strings players, they'll just send you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's my takes. Like, feel free to make them however you want.
I love that though.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, well, we'll use whatever feels right. And so we use most of what she sent. But she did a good job.
So what's the name of this song now?
This song is called Faint Line.
Faint Line, okay.
This will also be on the January album. Since we were kind of, the whole plan was, this song was in the group of all the songs that are going to be on the album. And so it was mixed and mastered in mind with that. And so, I think we released this in April 2020. So it's
this
kind of
was
a
kind
delay.
of our first single that was supposed to be, but then we just
okay.
put everything on hold when it just kept going on and on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that line.
Like a clock that never quits.
That ends with "While I'm Still a Kid."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's really, really good.
Oh,
I mean, I really like it. I guess I should say. I'm no arbiter of what's good or not good, but I like that line a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, this. I would say out of the group of these songs, this is probably our heaviest track count by a lot, maybe by double of anything else that we did.
It feels very full. And this is the one you worked with the producer from Austin. Mm-hmm. Did you know him before? Was he a friend of yours?
Yeah, he's kind of been a friend, just music friend for a long time.
Cool.
We found him to record one of your early albums.
Yeah, I did a worship album like 2014, a long time ago, and I looked up producers from Austin, and his name came up, and actually he's from St. Louis, and we
What was his name?
Wow.
we know a lot of similar people. Like, it's really weird, but he moved to Austin that year, and
That's crazy.
His name came up because he runs like he did back then, he ran like a mobile recording studio.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he brought all of his stuff from Austin, and
Oh, wow.
we set up a room kind of in an old warehouse.
yeah, at the time we didn't have really a good studio setup, so he brought all his stuff from Austin up here to Columbia.
So is that where you recorded these vocals? Is in a warehouse?
Not these.
Not these.
That was an old project. For this album, we recorded everything in this room.
Wow.
He brought up a Manly mic, Manly condenser mic.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like, he has tons of great gear, and he does vocals like really well. And so he brought his nice Manly mic up, and we recorded probably 90% of the vocals. This song though was, let's see, I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah, we just did this one by ourselves.
This one was all by ourselves.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Without
so.
Taylor.
He mixed it.
Yeah.
He mixed it.
He mixed it.
Yeah.
But it was really helpful to have that like history with him and that friendship. But finding him was hilarious. But yeah, we've just kind of kept up with him as time has gone on, and he's awesome.
That's cool. I wouldn't have guessed it was recorded separately. I mean, it fits right in. It
I know.
sounds great.
I was thinking the same thing.
Nice guys. Yeah. This song, the story behind this one is, one day our oldest, she's 9, maybe at the time she was probably 8, 7, something like that. And she was like, "Mommy, what's after the galaxy?"
Yeah, she said, "What's after all the galaxies?"
Wow.
It's like
I was like,
Okay.
We've been trying to answer that our whole lives.
you know, and I may have had a good answer for her, quote unquote good. What is good, right? But, you know, we were in this place of just questioning a lot of the beliefs that we'd grown up with, and just kind of walking through what is the meaning of all this and what is after all the galaxies. And it was the first time where I could really say, I don't know. I don't know what's after all the galaxies. I felt really confident. Just, you know, I don't know. I don't know what my beliefs are right now. I don't know. It was the first time in life where I could really freely say that and feel okay about it.
It's a scary feeling the first couple times.
What'd you say?
It's a scary feeling the first couple times.
Yeah, it is.
Physical.
But then she said, I think it's just a big blank piece of paper.
That was her answer to what's after.
And I
That's
said,
probably
yeah,
exactly what it is.
Yeah, let's call it that. So that's what this whole
It's
song
one of
is
those
about.
voice memo moments. Like, get my phone out real quick.
Right.
I just have to like say that really quick or something.
It is kind of, I told Andrew, like, I came to bed and I said, here's what Ray and I just talked about. And we just started writing from then on because it was just such a cool moment.
Instantly. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yep.
And this, I think, is the premiere, right?
Yes.
This is the premiere. Yeah.
No one's ever heard this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fun. This is we had a friend play upright bass on a bunch of these songs, and he's playing at the beginning of this. Friend Zach, really good upright player.
Wandering through the woods now, second head.
I love hearing all the instrumentation because, you know, when we played at that replay show, like I really love your harmonies together. But and you talked about, you know, maybe having a band and everything, but so hearing all of the kind of instrumentation behind, even though I know some of them aren't the same songs, it's just it's a different, totally like a kind of a different vibe, but it's very, very, very cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
The voices really seem like the start and end of everything, right? And I mean, there's lots of wonderful other things going on and details and additions, but really you can tell, to my ear at least, like it really starts and ends with the vocal and the intertwined vocals specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to sing together a good bit. There's times where we'll like split verses or stuff.
Sure.
Which is cool because then it's kind of like a call response thing. But yeah, I would say we try to sing like together a lot, like even in unison too.
Feels right.
Yeah, it feels right.
And do you record that way? Do you record the vocal simultaneously?
Sometimes.
A couple. I don't know if any of these songs we did together. I don't know if any of these songs tonight were together, but we have done it.
With some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's playing piano?
You know, this might have been me, but it's all MIDI.
Yeah, sure. So you said you're in Logic, right? Is that what you kind of write in, as far as like backing tracks and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, primarily Logic. I'll mess around in Ableton. And like when I was talking about like playing tracks a long time ago, like we'd play tracks live like in Ableton all the time. And I love Ableton. But yeah, for like songwriting and linear stuff, Logic, and then the piano, probably like Spitfire audio piano.
Yeah.
Maybe
that I've heard good things about that one.
Oh man, Spitfire's great. I think that's.
I really like the drum program on the song.
Thanks. There's like a little, like it's not the snare hit, but it's the backbeat, and it's actually a voice memo of me dropping a quarter.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
In the rhythm, and then I just sampled it.
Very cool.
vocals on this part too is not the O's, but the other background stuff is with a Voice Live Touch vocoder.
Okay.
I'd never used one till this album, and I loved it. I sold it actually and got a different thing, but it was great. Loved it.
I love manipulating vocals.
Oh,
It's so much fun. Like I like the auto pitch and playing with that stuff, pitching stuff up. There's a Sound Toys plugin called Little Alter Boy. You can pitch and form it. It's so good.
Yep. The end of this song is probably one of my favorite moments.
I was going to say, this is your wheelhouse right here.
Yeah.
This is Andrew's, like, he just came down the basement and just went to town for like an hour and just created all that. And I was just shocked.
Nice.
That is, man.
Yeah, the voices again. You
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of great there's a
this
lot
one
of great
too.
contrasts between when things are really big and layered and lush, and then but the intimate moments, the stuff that's up close and not fairly dry, and everything to really bring it, and not really. I mean, you kind of do that in the lyrics too, with whether it's the thing your daughter said or the at the monument that I'm blanking
Mount
with the
Rushmore.
four.
Mount Rushmore, yeah.
Thank you. Like
A monument.
those details
Yeah.
are really
Yeah.
great.
I think for a long time I used to think of dynamic as like quiet to loud, but a lot of times I think of like you were saying, like dry to wet, I guess would be the
Yeah.
way to put it. And you can do that with like volume and stuff, but it creates intimacy, like you're saying.
What's the song called?
You Climb Down. This is our release from Friday.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
It's a totally different feel.
It's our most
Oh,
popular
it's
song.
not. It's.
Beating chest, beating dust, hope it doesn't get worse. I cried in my car twice today, hope there's not a third. True words in my notes, but F-bombs every line though. You
Is
said
that one of those dry, super dry right now?
you said no, you said no, you said no. You climbed down to my lowest pit.
Should we talk about? I mean, we've talked about some of the technical things and gear and stuff. What about kind of the emotional piece of like, where do songs start and what do you like to write about and what's
Well, and I think this is a good song because the story behind this song was what I was talking about earlier. So yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Kristen just put a social media post up, I think today.
Yeah. Yeah, I did kind of like a song inspiration because after we released this song, it's been in our hands for 6 years almost or more. I think 2015 is when we wrote it. And so we've been holding on to it. And after we released it, I think it was 2 days after we released it, we were like, whoa, this is a big deal. Because do you remember when we wrote this song? And Andrew's like, I don't remember at all. I was
didn't,
like,
actually, yeah.
it was a huge deal because we were in one of the worst years of our lives.
Probably was.
Our third kiddo was born, and
That was great.
he was wonderful.
Awesome.
But our lives kind of crashed and burned that year just so many traumatic things happened. And so we actually called it jokingly the Year of Ezra. That's our son's name. And so, yeah, the Year of Ezra, we just jokingly called it. And I said, we wrote that song in the Year of Ezra. And he was like, no way. We were just in our lowest point. We had just gone through so much. It's like so much to even go into.
There's a
like
long list of just stuff. I don't even know where to begin with it.
It's like too much to even explain, like what
You
caused us.
described it as the moment your ship sank.
Yes. The
Totally.
moment that our ship was sinking, and I was so used to being like, okay, let's pick ourselves up, and and it was just too much, too much to pick yourself back up again. Buck up, get back on the horse, all these things that I was kind of taught to say to myself, and
Didn't work
anymore. And so I kept telling Andrew these things, and they're not working for him either, for me to just tell him all these things. We'll do it. We'll get back on the horse. And Andrew was just in his lowest point, and I just remember reaching over and just grabbing his hand, and I just held on. It was kind of like, I'm not going to let go. You're not leaving me. Like, we're not done with this. Like, we're going to keep going. We met when we were 15, 16, and really just, we were best friends, and then we dated. And so we really haven't known anything else other than each other. And so it was kind of that moment of like, this is not over. Like, we're going to keep going. But I didn't have to say it that time. I didn't have to give my pep talk. The hand holding was all I needed to do. And so I just held on to his hand, and we just cried and cried and cried. And it was that moment of like coming down to somebody's lowest point and just sitting in that moment. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I'm going down with the ship, whatever it is, like, we're going down together.
That's what's up.
I think like around that time too, kind of related. There was we were listening to Brene Brown a lot, and she had this like talking about like going down in the hole with someone and like climbing down the ladder, like being in the dark with somebody.
What empathy truly was.
Yeah, like
and so that kind of taught us like, oh, it's different than these pep talks. It's like being in it with someone. And so just deciding that the ship was going to sink, and that was okay. Like, it's not even a good ship. Like, let's let it go. Let's sink it and like rebuild something new. And so that was kind of the first step of like, we're going to rebuild something new. And that's really what we've done over the past 6 years. We really like sank the ship, moved on. And that's kind of where my daughter's questioning came from. Like, I don't know the answers anymore, but we're going to rebuild it. And maybe part of the rebuilding process is not knowing, and that's okay, So that's really where our band came from in the first place, is being in those really, really low moments. I mean, there was plenty of times where we wanted to call it quits with our marriage. Like, this was a big mistake. We were just 16. What did we know? Like, let's just pretend this never happened. But we have these 4 kids, so sounds easier than it probably would have been. But people do that, and I would say, obviously, if you're in an abusive relationship, like, don't stay just to stay. But that wasn't the case for us. It was just something we needed to fight for and really kind of dig deep.
Yeah, it's great.
So.
I love the ship thing. I feel like that was.
Yeah, I remember thinking that. Yeah. So that's why it was a big deal that we released that song, and we went back and found the original lyrics, and we even tried to find pictures of ourselves of that time, and there aren't any really.
We have 0 pictures of us like selfie posing in 2015.
Or just together. We don't have, and I think it was just really telling of where we were at in our relationship and in our life. Yeah, it's kind of the story behind that song.
So when you write lyrics, are you writing all the lyrics together? How does that work?
I would say
Andrew writes a lot, but they don't always make sense.
They
his
never
lyrics.
make sense. So like
I was gonna ask you like how that works in a marriage. Like if you're writing something that's personal, especially when you're going through stuff. Then you have to bring that to your wife and say, I kind of wrote this thing.
Oh yeah.
How does that work?
I will say less with the songwriting, but more like recording vocals. Recording vocals is probably the toughest thing for us because it's like putting on the like bandmate engineer hat, but then also taking it off and then like putting the husband wife hat on. It's like super. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to navigate.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, with lyrics.
Yeah, because it's right there, like, and go right into your ear.
Yes. Yeah.
These words, yeah.
But when I write lyrics, I write too much. And so Andrew's really good about taking a story that I have or lyrics that I have and just taking half of it out, taking out the fluff and just getting down to what's really important. So I'd say we're a really good team in that way. I'll like write a story or, what I think would be a great song, but it has way too many words and it's...
Yeah. Kristen's really
You're a
good
writer.
at, like, Kristen is the actual writer. Like, she could write a 500-page book and it'd be great and people would love it. And she would be able to tell the story. I take her stuff too and I'll be like, how can we confuse people now? Like, how can we make the thing that makes sense like a mystery?
Yeah, he does. So I'll like want to spell it out for people, and Andrew really likes the mystery, which I also think is really important. But he's really good about that.
Like
so.
she creates the Mona Lisa and then I take kid crayons and I'm like, blow it up.
And ketchup.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it is a lot of times. I do a lot of voice memos. I mean, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of voice memos. I mean, like a lot of us probably do. And like, I don't know, that's like 80% of 90% of where the first original idea for something will come.
Yeah.
That song too is like originally, it was a totally different feel. And then we started recording it and made it halftime. It used to be like a shuffle, like ticka 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 ticka. So I don't know, like the feel
magic that happens when you're recording.
It was it was really different. We used to play a lot different live, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a little bit of some of the guitar was at least reminiscent of John Mayer a little bit.
Love John Mayer. I do.
Okay.
I don't feel guilty saying. I mean, like. John Mayer's amazing.
I'm not saying that as anything but a compliment because I'm a John Mayer fan. Like Room for Squares and those albums back then were
so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Those acoustic songs he's doing. Yeah. So anyway, that after that long great explanation of the song and stuff, I'm just gonna bring it back to you. Sounds like John Mayer to me.
I do love John Mayer. I like he's one of those like it's John Mayer like Chris and I another person that's like I don't know hit or miss for people like Justin Bieber. Like Chris and I love Justin Bieber. Like we love to listen to Justin Bieber. And like
we love to dance to Justin Bieber with our kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
in the
also,
living room, just
like,
dance party all the time.
Like and with the dry wet thing, like he's like he's a master of like if you listen really close, like the dry wet in his mix is like awesome. So good at it. So good at it. Like Where Are You Now? Like so good. Wet dry.
And are you guys in Kansas City?
We're in Columbia.
Okay.
Columbia, Missouri, yep.
I was just going to say he's coming to Kansas City here pretty soon, so.
Uh-oh. Christmas present. We'd have to bring the 4 kids, though, so that would be tough.
Yeah. They would be really mad if we went without them. Oh, my God. And so, Royce, we didn't... So what do you play, or what's your, like, world in the music world, or...
So I'm an audio engineer.
Yeah.
I have a studio here in Kansas City.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
I started out rapping and morphed into engineering. I've been doing that full time for about 10 years now.
Oh, cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Sick. Which studio in Kansas City?
Phosphorus Studio. So we're like 17th and Broadway, right off of or right outside of the Crossroads district.
Okay.
Oh, wow, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Actually, we're on the border, like on the line, like just inside the Crossroads district.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get that in there.
Do you, Andrew, Kristen? Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say, like, I was listening to a lot of your stuff on Apple Music or iTunes today, and I knew that there was only, a handful of songs we were going to do in the show, and I almost like, I'm going to grab like 3 or 4 more songs and throw them on so we can listen to stuff. And it's like, maybe you should ask like what songs they want to hear, but I thought there were several more songs that we could have been listening to that I would have really liked to listen to, and I hope that after your record comes out, we can do another show and listen to some older stuff in addition to some the album, the new album.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We're
That would be great.
Yep. Definitely.
Well, that kind of leads right into what I was going to ask, which was, do you want to talk about kind of the album rollout and what you're doing, and are you playing shows, or is it mostly online, or what do you have planned?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we, Nate was talking about earlier, like we'd been talking about having a band, so we got some friends to like play for an album release that we're going to be having here in Columbia, like late January, or on the release day or around the release day. So that's cool, and hopefully be able to play out with them more next year.
Yeah, we have our first band practice on Monday, so yeah, it's all kind of started.
That's been a hurdle. That's like with the kids, it's hard to like scheduling is kind of a hurdle for us, and so it's been cool to like finally do that, especially with pandemic. It's like for a while I was like nobody comes over ever. Now people kind of come over. So, but yeah, so our plan with that is to hopefully do some more shows next year. Still kind of getting some of that stuff figured out. We're do some music videos from here to like January, releasing those. One's coming up pretty soon.
You gonna do some couch videos?
What'd you say?
Are you gonna do some couch videos? I mean, you're in the studio.
Yeah, we should.
Studio couch videos.
We definitely should. That's a great idea.
Spoiler alert, the music video that we have coming out is in the studio.
Are you fans of Sylvan Esso?
Oh, yeah. Sylvan Esso, yes. I know. I've listened to them a little bit. I wouldn't be able to be like, oh, this is my favorite song.
Oh, man, they did...
Husband, Wife, though, right?
There's the really cool... they did a like from their couch, like did some songs from their couch that's really cool. If I'll remember to like link you guys to it.
Oh yeah.
I've listened to him a little bit.
I think you guys would really enjoy it. Like it's really cool. Yeah. Really, really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Great.
Yeah, so music videos, we're like the music business part, we're just like that is the biggest challenge.
I'm trying to learn the back end music stuff right now, the music business kind of world, learning about pros and sync licensing and
we've been
copyrights and all this stuff that we didn't really have time for before, but now all of our kids are finally in school.
Yeah.
I have a little bit more time.
This is the first semester or whatever year that all of them are gone for like more than 4 hours a day in the last 9 years.
Yeah. So it's kind of my first breath. Take a breath here and kind of learn.
You time.
Yeah.
So
as far as playing out, we try to hit a lot of the major cities around Missouri, as far as like mid-Missouri goes.
And Lawrence, and
right in Kansas, we played in Overland Park. And we were pretty tired after that because it was a lot of work to get childcare and all that. And so it was super fun, and we're so glad that we did it. We just needed a little break after that. With full-time job and the kids. So we're hoping to get back at it after the album release and start playing in new places again. So
dates around here.
Full band, if you can.
That's the hope. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would hope that the people that we've asked, they want to keep playing around, and we're really excited about that aspect because we think that'll bring so much to our sound.
Sure.
Yeah, like mainly, and really trying to get like a core group behind us, and then like maybe filler people can join us in different cities and stuff too. It's like like having bass and drums is like pretty good for like original stuff. Like if we're playing like a 45-minute like original set, like having those key members that know your songs like pretty well, because our stuff isn't like super jam bandy. You know what I mean? Like it'd probably be easier to like just throw people together if it was jam bandy, but I don't know.
Well, I know what you mean. There's actual parts and changes and
there's like weird bars where there's like only
things.
3 counts or something at this weird spot.
Exactly.
So
yeah, we're just I think our hope right now is to really get our band tight for our album release show and party, which we're in the works of planning. And so yeah, I think that's kind of our plan. And then I am a nerd, and I have a 14-page album release roadmap.
Nice.
That's what's up.
it's been great.
Yeah, it starts at the release, and
In
then
our
it just goes up, and we've been working on it for about 5 months, and it just has literally everything we need to do every week, because I love organization, and that's my jam. So yeah, I have that.
And Andrew's just like catch up.
Yeah.
Seriously. I'm like, she'll ask me questions about something, and I'll be like, I don't even know what that is or what you're talking about. Or, like, I don't even know what I'm doing like in an hour
Well, if you
from now.
review page 10,
I have no idea.
Yes, that is exactly right.
Kristen is the compass.
Yeah.
I'm not the compass.
section B, subsection 1.
Another compliment. Good job.
Yeah. We really are opposites, and I don't really know how it works, but we found a way to kind of make it work.
Well, the opposites are
working
what
well.
jumps out, right? But like, there's always those core things in common too, right? Singing's obviously one for the two of you. You've got shared history. I'm sure you have shared values, and so that stuff. We
got
we
4
have it so
kids
much in
together.
common, we forget to look at it sometimes because
That's so
it's just easy to
true.
overlook.
Yeah, that's so true. We love to laugh. Yeah, it's we
Justin
do have a lot of
Bieber.
Justin. I mean, come on. Yeah, that's like the common thread.
We were watching Justin Bieber like when he was uploading videos to YouTube, like
Well,
from his
yeah.
mom's like YouTube. Like we were watching from the early days. Oh man,
Whoa,
OG
okay.
fan.
Well, he's like our generation, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's funny.
True.
This is secretly about Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
this whole podcast.
Yeah, it's a Justin Bieber episode.
Yeah.
So good.
Don't give away the game.
We've been playing a very long game.
Very, very long game.
It's a long play.
Here
so,
comes
you
the
know.
twist.
Yeah.
It's a Justin Bieber
Right,
podcast.
It's right in the title of the podcast. The long play.
Yeah.
Stick's gonna be disappointed that it's not a Friday podcast.
Yes. That's on the next
We have,
on the
and actually, listeners, sorry, you won't get that joke because you will not have heard part 3 with Stick Figure until next week. So be on the lookout.
tune
for
in
that.
next week to get
But
that
basically,
joke.
the last section of our talk with Stick turned into about the movie Friday.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And he was saying there should be a podcast just about Friday.
Oh, okay.
Probably could be a podcast. At least, a short run.
It probably
10
already
12
exists.
episodes. Yeah.
It probably, Royce, you're probably right.
You break
You're
down every
probably right.
minute of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Friday.
You have like 120 episodes. It's good.
Well,
There's an NFL player named Debo Samuels, and he got the nickname because his parents, because he used to go and I think he was like stealing people's lunches or something like that. And so they nicknamed him Debo.
Oh my gosh.
That's a trivia. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Howie. I think
no,
I
I was
got
just
you off track.
I was just about to ask. Is there anything we missed? Anything that we want to go deeper on or didn't mention?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything specific that's coming to my mind, but yeah.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to releasing our album, and we're trying to keep people like involved and kind of in the process, and it's one of those trying not to. I think it can be kind of easy to like stay hidden with the behind the scenes or with the like whatever of releasing an album, but we're trying to keep people like in tune and like so we're looking forward to that. And
how do we keep up? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, well,
I was just gonna.
There's little lag.
I was going to ask you, how do we keep up with that roadmap? Is there a place we can go to keep up with that roadmap?
Oh man, I don't have it posted, but
Some accountability.
yeah, accountability. You're like, you didn't do step number 6 on this day. Yeah, it's funny because I was gonna just say like, it's our world, and I'm sure it's a lot of musicians' world. But what we forget is that a lot of people don't do this.
Right.
A lot of people don't release music, and
like a lot of people. Well, a lot of times they'll be like, no one's gonna be interested in like, where's that? Oh, the dry erase board. Check this out. I still have this. Pretty good.
But yeah, a lot of people don't do this. Like, we don't watch TV at night. We practice, and we
Right.
Check this out.
I mean, sometimes we do, but
I didn't erase this. This is our from the album from January 2020. This is our checklist. This is our grid for like all the section stems and like BPMs and like time and all the songs.
Oh, will you bring that a little closer?
I don't know how well you guys can see it. You might not be able to see it that well. Let's see.
We can for the listeners on the audio
There it is.
podcast. We're looking at a marker board. It's a very detailed grid. It's about
I didn't
I
think
don't know
about the
2.5
podcast.
feet square, and it's probably 20 columns by 20 rows. It's got lots of X's. It's color coded. I think I saw. And,
I forgot that this is like mainly podcast, not like video. But
Yeah, we're still trying to get a handle on that. I do think people watch. I don't know how long they watch each episode, but yeah, that's great. You're saying that a lot of people don't release music, and so you're like wondering like, oh, do they really want to see this? But like, that's kind of why we do the podcast. Is 'cause,
Right.
like, we want to see that stuff. We want to talk about that stuff because I think like unless you're with who you create music with and record music with, but outside of that, you don't really talk about that process, and so that's what really interests me and why I like doing this podcast is to talk about it, and I really enjoy talking about it, especially with you guys. Seem like I mean, I love that board.
yeah, and it was helpful.
And when you said you don't watch TV and now you practice, that's
yeah,
that-
this is our thing. It's like
yeah. But I think revealing all of that background reveals that we have no chill.
oh yeah. We do not know how to chill.
And we're
That sounds
I don't
so
know.
lame.
I think some people want it to happen really organically, but I don't think people realize how much hard work is behind all of it. And I think, it reveals that we're really excited about it and we love it. And, we're going to work hard for it and work hard at it. So
long, patient, hard work for, that's like been our mindset from the very beginning. It's like nothing overnight. And so, yeah. That's an important aspect, like mental health aspect for all of this.
Right.
It's like, man, let's get 1 million streams tomorrow night. And it's like, that's just not going to happen. And,
well, I think that's a really, really good point, though. I think it takes people a long time sometimes to realize that.
Yeah.
And you see people that, like, they're at it for 2 or 3 years, and they're like, I suck, I can't get stressed. Like, man, 2 or 3 years, that's that.
Well,
I mean,
so, like,
some people that you get frustrated because they go at it for 3 years and they're like, doing all this stuff. But for the vast majority of people, it's a long process, and you have to devote yourself to it and set your expectations accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. And I think people have this image of what, a successful musician looks like. But what Andrew and I have said is like, it's not necessarily the Justin Biebers of the world. That's like a very small percentage, but there are people that can make a living off of music. And so I think that would be our ultimate dream goal is to be able to make a living and not super fancy, fine, maybe someday, I don't know, but it looks different for everybody. It doesn't have to be this like celebrity status. I think that there's a middle ground of musicians that really get forgotten about that get to actually make a living off their music and making music. And there might be lots of different avenues to do that. Running the studio, or we sing for weddings, or, playing out, all these things kind of combined hopefully can get us there. But that's kind of our goal.
Yeah. And so, if there was one last thing we were going to say, I guess it'd be if somebody's listening that's like, you're 2 years in or something, and you're like, should I keep doing this? I guess our what we would say is like, for sure, like, don't give up. Also, if you're the person who's written a song and you think it's okay but not great, just release it. Just throw it out. Just throw it up out there. Because our first song that we did, we were still building. We built this room from scratch. It was like all cement. While we were building it, we had a Behringer interface and like a 58, and we wanted to do a song. And so, I mean, seriously, that's all I think we had. Or maybe it was AT 2020. It was some kind of crappy condenser mic, actually. But, like, that's all we had.
Hey, I've got an AT 2020 over here.
I was going to say, the AT 2020 is not a crappy condenser mic.
Just a bass mic.
I think the funnier thing is that we recorded it in our kids' playroom.
Right.
So,
there's toys, and that's the other thing. There's toys, like, literally laid out, and it's just the only spare room we had. And, like, that... We just decided we were going to throw it up.
Yeah, we decided early on, like, we're not going to worry about perfection. We're just going to grow as we go, kind of, and keep learning. And we're always going to make mistakes, but we're just going to, hopefully, consistency and perseverance. That's what Taylor, our producer, texted us this week. That was his words. Yeah. Consistency and perseverance. So that's our mantra now.
That's perfect.
That would be what we'd want to tell people if you're in those spots. So.
Yeah, we can get behind that. You can watch the 14-page plan unfold at the JanuaryLanterns.com.
There you go.
It's on our homepage. Yeah, just like go there.
That'll be in the description, of course, along with links, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. You guys do a lot of fun stuff on YouTube. If the covers and things. So definitely everybody. Go to the YouTube channel and check out. There's lots of fun covers, kind of livey and stripped down that are really cool. Do you have a preferred place that people go to listen to your music?
A lot of times we just say Spotify. People do Apple Music too and Amazon. We have a surprising people amount to do Amazon Music, which I was like, oh, I guess if you're a Prime member, you get Amazon Music. But recently we did like a link tree. Which turned out to be, I think it's going to turn out to be pretty well, but for our You Climb Down, we just have a link to our link tree, and then you can listen to it on any platform that it's great.
You stream from, which is really nice.
Link trees changed our world.
Cool.
Yeah, CD Baby has something similar called Here Now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can set up.
Same idea.
It's really convenient, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we will link to everything. Andrew, Kristen, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
thanks
thank
so much,
you
guys.
so much for
great.
having us.
Check
it.
This has been
love
great.
It.
Really
and
fun.
we'd love to do it again. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Check out the album in January. It's the January Lanterns. This has been the Long Play Listening Party.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye.